welcome back to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And a preview as we welcome the Cherries. Yes, Bournemouth to the Etihad. Match day 10, 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday, 2nd of November. Soon be Christmas, guys, won't it? Flipping heck. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? We'll check out Bournemouth's excellent start to the season. Plus, a look at possible Pep's 11 after an interesting game midweek against Swansea. There may be one or two players have actually nudged the way into Pep's thoughts for this up-and-coming league game. Of course, more or less a couple of doubts, but more or less a full squad for Pep to play around with at the moment. And of course, we'll check the latest odds. Of course, City clawed up, did well last week, didn't we, on the odds catching up Arsenal, and now it's all gone to pot after last week's results, of course. So City are still second favourites, but Arsenal have really firmed up now into favouritism. So we'll check out all that anyway, and odds on the match odds, etc. We'll do that later on. I'm recording this on the 30th of October, so the morning after a tiring trip down to Swansea, for the fans anyway. I'm sure perhaps not as tiring for the players. Certainly most of the key players for this game against Bournemouth probably weren't on the pitch, so they'll be all right. But we'll have a look at that, and of course any facts and stats as far as injuries are concerned. I don't think we picked any up last night from what I remember. Correct as at the 30th of October. Right, guys, before we go on to this, please, if you are still with me now, if you can press that like button, that'll be fantastic. Helps all the algorithms, of course, for the channel. Helps me, helps burn it out to get this sort of out into the social world, out into the world. So if you can press that like button, as in subscribe as well, is fantastic, and even better to get me out there, of course, help the channel. Hype points is now on YouTube, so you can press the hype point button. You'll spread them about. You've got a certain amount of points, I think, per month, is it, or per week? I'm not too sure how it works, but you can actually spread them out to your favourite vlogs. So if you can give me any, guys, that'd be much appreciated. But as I said, it all helps the algorithms and getting the channel out there, so it'd be much appreciated by myself. Right, let's get on with this one. Bournemouth, yes, it'll be on Sky Sports. I'll be there, of course, on Sunday. If you do see me, come up and say hello. It'd be great to meet you. I've met a few over time, of course. All new guys. If you see my ugly face, come and say hello. That'd be fantastic. Right, let's check out. I never know how to pronounce his name. It's quite simple, really, isn't it? Iraola or Araola. Andoni Araola's Bournemouth. Yes, points so far. Well, 18. A couple more than us. Second in the league. Just one defeat, and that was match day 1, I think, against Liverpool. So when Liverpool was sort of getting the look of the draw, weren't they? Which has sort of disappeared at the moment. Last time out, last weekend, of course, while we were getting beat at Villa, they had a comfortable home win over Nottingham Forest, of course. And, of course, there's that famous song, Sacked in the Morning, was the chant aimed, of course, at Mr. Paul Sean Dyche, who's took over at Forest. And the Cherries fans are a happy bunch at the moment, and why not? There's absolutely no reason at all why you shouldn't enjoy it while you can. It's as simple as that. It's the best ever start to a top division, to the Premier League, or any machinations of it. And of course, there's no problem win over Dyche's new charges. Everyone expects away from Bournemouth that the bubble's going to burst at some stage, but we're already almost a quarter of the way through now, aren't we? This will be our 10th game, so we will be over 25% through the season, and still momentum is very, very good. Say 2 points a game is very good, better than everyone else apart from Arsenal at the moment, and we'll have to play pretty well to prick that bubble. History is probably on our side, though, which is good, of course. Very recently, we lost our first ever game against Bournemouth, of course, typical City. But the last 6 at the Etihad have read 4-0 for City, 3-1, 2-1, 4-0, 6-1 and 3-1 for City. So we do have a good record in history. All right, we haven't played that many times, but we've won every one apart from one where they got a draw. Coming up for Bournemouth after us, they got Villa away, West Ham at home, Sunderland away, Everton at home, Chelsea at home, and United away. Well, there's 3 points for them. I would expect from those, based on the run at the moment, I'm going to expect they don't get any points at our place. So we'll be confident that we can beat them. It's going to be tough, as I said. But I think they'll get anywhere between 10 and 14 points from those next 6 games. So that'll keep them up, certainly, I would have thought, in the top 4. And I'm predicting they will die off a little bit. I mean, we've said this. We said, remember Leicester City? But anyway, I think they'll finish between 6th and 8th, which will be outstanding. Of course, should get them into a Europa place of some sort, conference or the Europa League, etc. So, as I said, history is on our side, but we're going to have to be good enough to inflict a second defeat of the season on Bournemouth. That'll be an accomplishment in itself. There should be no looking by Pep at the matchup coming up very shortly after this. Of course, Dortmund, just 3 days later at the Etihad. Pep's got to play strong. He can't be holding anyone back for Dortmund. You might have an idea that some of these guys in his squad anyway are probably more suited to Dortmund than Bournemouth. But whatever happens, this has got to be his strongest 11. We've got to get a vital victory. We've got to keep the pressure on at the top. We've got to keep in contact, more importantly, at the top as well. So hopefully he'll play a DM for this. We might get a DM playing, who knows? Anyway, we'll see. Perhaps it wasn't he didn't want to play one. He just wasn't sure of the fitness of our DMs. That's the only problem. So, of course, we're talking that. That brings us on to City. That brings us on perhaps to the squad against Swansea. I don't think it's going to mean that much, is it, that squad? I'll start with the Villa 11 first of all, because they're the basis of what Pep's going to play against Bournemouth. And, of course, then I will have a look at that game against Swansea. Anyone sort of might have forced their way into Pep's thinking that perhaps wasn't there, of course, as players come back from injury, etc. So if you look at that Villa game, it was Donnarumma, Núñez, Diaz, Stones, Gvardiol, Reinders, Bernardo, Bob, Foden, Savic and Haaland. And if you look at the 11 against Swansea, Trafford, Lewis, Kusanov, Ake, Atnori, Nico, Mukasa, Bob, Cherky, Doku and Marmoush. Of course, a standout and getting all the credit was Cherky. We've got obviously a lot of hope for Cherky, making a big difference to this team over the coming weeks and months. And I probably think he's a definite to be added to the starting 11 for this one. Others like Doku probably would have played anyway. Gonzalez as a DM probably would have played anyway. Are not going anywhere. They're not going to change any of the facts of what they did against Swansea. And of course, they're in Pep's mind as his favourite starting 11 anyway. And yeah, interestingly, Marmoush is an interesting one. I don't think he was outstanding, but he may have done enough to push himself into the reckoning, especially if Pep's having doubts about people like Doku and Savi. But as I said, I think Doku will be all right, but I'm not too sure about Savi. What about the others? Well, Rodri, we've not seen him, have we? So we've got to believe he's still a little bit injured. And of course, Kovacic wasn't on the bench against Swansea. He was on the bench against Villa. So we have to assume Kovacic is there. But I still think Kovacic is probably a bench player rather than being put into any sort of DM role. And of course, Bernardo's an interesting one, isn't it? I've actually put him in my 11, but I'm not too sure. I think he might be one to drop out. But I've done an 11 anyway. This is what I think. Let me know what your thoughts, guys. Any recommendations? Anything you doubt that's correct? So I've gone for Donnarumma. I've gone for Núñez again. I mean, Kusanov, bit rusty, and he's only going to not be rusty by playing. But of course, as games come thick and fast, big games as well. Will he, it's when Pep plays him. Certainly as a right back, he was exceptional. Of course, he was before he got his injury. But I think Pep will just stick for this one to Núñez. I think Kusanov will get a start in a big game, but probably not this one. So I've gone Donnarumma, Núñez, Diaz, Gvardiol and O'Reilly back, even though Atnor is available. Of course, another one who did okay, but again looked a bit rusty in that Swansea game. And then obviously I've gone for Gonzalez as our DM there. And I have put Bernardo in for his work ethic. And he's been playing well. If Bernardo plays well enough for like 60, 65, 70 minutes against Bournemouth, he's certainly got it in him. at the moment. He's having like a second flush of youth, isn't he? I think, Bernardo. So I think we might be prepared to bring him off. But let's start him for this one. But he is a bit of a question mark for me. And of course, then Cherries, I think he deserves to be put in the team with Foden, Doku, and Haaland. So that's my 11: Donnarumma, Núñez, Diaz, Gvardiol, O'Reilly, Gonzalez, Bernardo, Cherries, Foden, Doku, and Haaland. And hopefully that will be good enough to beat Bournemouth. Right, the odds, please gamble responsibly, and if the fun stop. Yes, it's as I say, it's a horrible thing if you do get addicted. It's an illness. I say I've dipped in and out myself over the years, and I've been okay. It's been addictive in a fun way rather than a. But if it starts getting too serious, please seek help. It's as simple as that. So yeah, make sure you do that, guys. Popular scorelines for this game. A 2-1 City win is 7-1. You can get 8-1 in a place. A 2-0 City win is 15-2. Again, you can get 8-1 in a place. And then the next popular scoreline is a 1-1 draw. So yeah, that's 17-2. You get it's 8-1 with 17-2 in a place. And if you fancy a Bournemouth, if you're a Bournemouth fan watching this and you fancy beating them mighty Sky Blues, a 2-1 Bournemouth win, you get 16-1 or 20 in a place on that. So yeah, as ever, when teams are playing City at the moment, I always advise supporters to back the team, because City were okay, but we're not the City of old, and everyone sort of knows that and don't. So yeah, try and fill your boots, because it's always usually worth having a flutter, because you can usually dutch a draw and a victory, can't you? But we'll talk about the match odds in a second. Back to the Premier League. The winners, Arsenal, are now clear favourites at 4-9 on. Yes, may as well give it them now. Give them the trophy now. It's over, finished. Anyway, they were 10-11 before we lost at Villa. We're still second favourites, but we've gone out from 4s to 9-2. And of course, Liverpool, you can get as high as 15-2 in a place. They were 11-4 last week, but they're falling apart just at the moment, aren't they? That will change, of course. 2 or 3 wins, and that all changes. Bournemouth themselves, top 6, 13-8, which not overly generous from the bookies. A top half finish, you may as well forget it. 2-11 on, so there's no doubts with the bookies that they're going to finish in the top 10. Match odds themselves, City are 1-2 on, so again, almost backable if you don't mind backing odds on 1-2 for City. That's what we tend to find at the moment. But the good news is for Bournemouth fans, is you can get a 7-2 draw or a 5-1 for a Bournemouth victory. So you can do a little bit of dutching and make your money if you're confident that your team's got the stuff, got the kahunas to beat City on our own patch. So let me know, guys. Anyway, Bournemouth fans and City fans, any bets you're having, would be great to have any information about that. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said, if you hit those buttons, coming out on the channel, of course, the player ratings for this Bournemouth game will be out hopefully Sunday night. I've got to get back, do all my bits and pieces. Of course, the story of the game will be out, and there will also be, over the course of a couple of days, the Dortmund preview for the upcoming Champions League match against Dortmund. So check those out, guys. Please hit those buttons. As I said, it helps the channel out. It's wonderful. If you do want other things as like sponsor, or if you want shout outs, etc., or you want to contact me through my various socials, get in touch with me through my various socials. There's different ones to find out how you can do that. All you ever have to do is keep watching and listening.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed the feature anyway, and please, if you can, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, that'd be wonderful. And if you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you could subscribe. It's absolutely free. Also, check out all my social media links. Will be in the description and comments below if you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. We can chat on there and do all things City, of course. Also, if you're into film and TV, don't forget, a lot of this channel is film and TV stuff. I love me film and TV like I do City, so if you're into that, have a look. Or even though somebody who might not be that bothered about the football but likes film and TV, give them a kick in my direction. I'll be very grateful. And special thanks as ever to supporters of the channel. Piat6505. They've got a little eBay shop selling film and TV memorabilia mainly, including books, magazines, posters, lots of posters, and they do have some City stuff as well that they've purloined off me over time, so there'll be a few bits and pieces, probably more going on as well. So have a look at Piat 6505 on eBay. And yes, if you do go onto eBay, and if you're a member, we do have memberships, 99p a month. You get early access to all my vlogs. So as soon as I do them, you get them. Sometimes it could be months before they're published generally. So a lot of the history stuff. So you have access. The membership gives you access to that. It gives you 10% extra off at Piat 6505. If you want to buy any of that memorabilia, so that you can actually gain that from being a member and support the channel. That's a great way of supporting the channel, of course, like watching the ads on the original thing that you've seen now, my original feature. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, also before we go, podcasts. If you like your podcasts, I do a podcast with Mike Long in South Korea. It's called Bolt from the Blue, in our 8th season. Yeah, we've had some good fun on there. We're trying to have a bit of humour, generally look at City's games as and when we play them, have a look back. So please check out that. It's on Soundcloud, Spotify, all good places you get your podcasts from. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed everything about this feature, and you didn't mind me asking you about this at the end. And please, all I ever ask for you is to stay safe, everyone, especially you Blues.